And Okarun is so moved by this, he utters the most diabolical offer I've ever heard. He offers this Kappa his own ding-a-ling.
Where's my dick at?
Look, bro, just because you're out of balls does not mean you can just offer up the anaconda.
Hey man, it's your boy Alex, and welcome back to another bang.
Today, we are talking about Dandadan. And with season 2 just coming out, I thought it'd be a good idea to catch all up on the end of season 1. So sit back and relax and grab some popcorn, because without further ado, it's time to get unhinged. So we start off with the game being reprimanded by the school nurse after they were caught by the entire school being booty butt naked in the hallway. But to be fair, they had a valid excuse. They were being chased by horny space aliens. But with their only evidence being an entire hallway filled with water mixed with horny alien juice, let's just say...
there's no way out of this one. You're done.
Now let's take a second and imagine that this was you, tooted up butt naked in the hallway, with the entire student body watching from every single angle. Like, what do you even do in this situation? Before you answer, let me go first. Now, if this was me, everyone who saw my bare ass in the air could no longer walk the earth. Firstly, I'm hauling ass out of the school, and then I will scour the entire planet until I locate the Death Note. And if you thought Light Yagami was bad, boy oh boy, you don't even want to know what I'm about to do. But anyways, we cut to Momo and Ira arguing outside the school when they're suddenly interrupted by this ugly ass yokai covered in white liquid and brandishing boxing gloves. But when they square up against it, he passes out, and the next thing he knows, he wakes up confused and fully bandaged. And once he meets the rest of the gang, they all sit down and have dinner together. Damn! So after Seiko's done yelling at the Kappa, we cut to Okarun enjoying his... Okay, so as you can clearly see, these people don't have a lick of home training. Like, what are we doing here? There is no need to be throwing hands over dinner. Now, with the boxing match officially over, everyone has finally settled down. And this is when the Kappa tells him his backstory on why he's here in the first place. And to sum it up, his wife died, and his son is really sick and needs a transfusion. But in order to help him, he needs a lot of cash. So he left his home planet and tried to take jobs somewhere else. But he claims to be on the weaker side of his species, so he was stuck doing risky gigs for criminals. And as he's telling this story, he starts bawling in front of everybody. And Okarun is so moved by this, he utters the most diabolical offer I've ever heard. He offers this Kappa his own ding-a-ling.
Where's my dick at?
Look, bro, just because you're out of balls does not mean you can just offer up the anaconda. Talking about I'ma just let him borrow it. I'm sorry, borrow it?
Nigga, is you gonna give it back?
Now, luckily, the Kappa declines the offer. And as he's about to head out, Seiko stops him and says that his blood smells a little funny, and that it also smells a little bit familiar. And come to find out, this man's blood is made of cow milk. And after offering him an entire cow, the Kappa starts bawling again, knowing that he can now go home and save his son. And after they say their farewells, him and the cow disappear back into space. And now we cut back to inside the house. And while they're playing around, they hear a ring at the door. And when Momo opens it up, it turns out to be her old best friend from childhood, Gigi. But they weren't just besties. He was also her first crush. And now he's coming to stay with her. Off first glance, you would think Gigi's this chilled, nonchalant dude. But this man's actually goofy as hell. And after dancing his way through the house, everyone is still confused on why he's there in the first place. But before they can figure it out, Ira starts tweaking and runs out the house. And Okarun decided that he's seen enough for the day. So he follows behind her as he says goodbye to Momo. And back in the house, Gigi is grubbing down. And Momo is still trying to figure out why he is here. And her grandma says that both of his parents are in the hospital. So she decided to take him in for the time being. And this is when Momo started to think. And the more she thought about it, she realized that they were never really that close of friends to begin with. Because back when they were kids, all Gigi used to do was bully her. But while they were washing dishes, Gigi actually brings this up and apologizes to her. And then he brings up something unexpected, as he tells her that he has a new ability to see ghosts. And it all started when he moved into a new house right before middle school. And it was all fun and games at first. But the longer he stayed there, things kept getting weirder and weirder. Until one day, something walked up to him. And ever since then, his parents began to get sicker and sicker for no reason whatsoever. So they eventually hired 5 spirit mediums to exorcise it, but 3 of them ended up taking their own lives. And with other mediums declining to help out, they were told there's only one other person that can help them, and she goes by the name of Seiko Ayase, Momo's grandmother. And now Gigi coming to stay with them makes a lot more sense. But while they were talking, Seiko tells Momo that she's not helping out at all because her powers only work in a certain jurisdiction. And since Gigi's house is outside of that, Momo is the one that has to take the case instead. And now we fast forward to the next day. And on his first day at his new school, Gigi is already showing out in front of the class. And while he's telling everyone that him and Momo are lovers, Okarun is in his class going through it. I mean, imagine you finally start hanging out with your crush, and you find out that a dude she used to have a crush on is starting to live with her. But instead of drowning in his sorrows, he decides to work out the pain during lunch. And while he was going crazy, Momo pops around the corner and scares him. And while they're chopping it up, Gigi suddenly comes around the corner. And unless he popped a UAV, I have no idea how he found out where they were. Like they're not even inside the school. But regardless, he's here now. And once again, he pulls Momo right in Okarun's face. Now me personally, I'm not taking that disrespect. But Okarun, being the respectful man that he is, decides to walk away in defeat. But the moment he hits the corner, he hears somebody scream out. And when he looks up, the dummy from science class is running towards him. And as they run around the corner, the dummy hawks him down and for no reason whatsoever, palms his face and pushes him out the way. And now it's headed straight towards Momo. But Gigi jumps in and saves her at the last second. And the moment it leaps over them, Momo notices a golden glare, which turns out to be one of Okarun's missing balls. And before he could get away, Momo uses her psychic powers and tries to capture it. But to their surprise, he turns on the afterburners and drags him along with him. And now Okarun realizes that the only way he can catch up is if he transforms and hawks him down. And right before they almost got turned into Mark Grayson, Okarun saves him at the last second as they continue the chase. And when Momo grabs him again, he grips onto the light pole so hard that his plastic body breaks apart. But somehow, he reassembles himself mid-sprint. And when the gang finally catches up to him, they find him tooted up in a junkyard. When suddenly, a woman's voice calls out to him. And when he begins to dig through the garbage, he finds his lover? Now look, to be honest, I have no idea what's going on. But for some reason, these two mannequins remind Okarun of him and Momo's relationship. Just another case of love that could never be. Back at the house, the gang convinces Seiko to keep the school mannequin's girlfriend with them because she's some type of supernatural being. And speaking of the school mannequin, what they thought to be one of Okarun's balls was just a Christmas ornament. So now they're all back to square one. But instead of stressing about it, both Okarun and Gigi start to tweak out. But after Seiko gets them to stop, the three of them prepare to head to Gigi's house for the weekend. And now we fast forward to the next day, where the gang is on the train headed towards Gigi's crib. And Okarun is not having a good time, because Gigi is making his crush laugh and giggle. So in order to distract himself, he decides to think about the one thing he wants back the most, his nut. And he begins to think about his singular nut so much that when Momo asks him what's wrong, he screams out, "My nut!" And after being laughed at, he decides to pull out all the stops. But instead of impressing Momo, he impresses Gigi instead. And the boy he once envied the most has turned into his new bestie. And now we fast forward to the gang finally arriving at Gigi's town. And after they make their way through the shopping district and what seems to be like an unlimited amount of stairs, they finally arrive at Gigi's house. But Okarun and Momo are too tired to notice. But as they're about to enter the house, hiding in the woods behind them is a group of creepy looking individuals. And what makes it even more creepier is that it feels like that this woman is looking at me. Oh, and another thing, these kids are in a world of trouble because whatever these things are stalking them in broad daylight, which is on the same level of evil as this lunatic. But then again, there's no way he's even trying to hide, so maybe they're not that bad after all. But Momo tells the guys that she knows there's a spirit hiding here, which would be fairly obvious if you opened the window and saw 7 fat-ass shadows in the front lawn. But hey, at least they're smart enough to stay together and not leave the house. Yeah, they might be cooked. So with Momo running off to find a hot spring, the boys try to keep themselves occupied. So they decide to play a little bit of soccer. But as Okarun is about to kick the ball, Gigi asks him if he's in love with Momo, because apparently he has feelings for her too. Like that already wasn't blatantly obvious. But while these two are using soccer to fight for her love, we cut to Momo alone in a nearby hot spring, when suddenly, she's joined by some creepy men. But back at Gigi's house, Okarun notices that his house is bigger on the outside. And when they go in to check it out, one of the walls seems to be hollow. And when they bust a hole in it, they look inside to see an ominous room filled with mysterious symbols. Meanwhile, back at the spring, the creepy men begin to approach Momo. And when she tries to defend herself, they grab her by the arms and take her under. And with neither her friends around, she soon realizes that she's in a very dangerous situation, with seemingly no chance of escaping. Alright, so that's it for today's video. But don't worry, we got some more bangers coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And once again, I appreciate everybody for watching. But before you go, please make sure to like and subscribe as well. It's your boy Atlas, and I'll catch you next time.
Nicole.